When people see these type of videos on the internet, they often think that magic is ruined. But I think they're wrong. And that actually, this is giving magicians a new type of edge that they've never had before.
Magicians have always had one sacred rule: never reveal the secret. But today, because of Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, the secret's out more than ever. And what are we magicians supposed to do with this disaster? But what if we're looking at this all wrong? And what if the revealing of our secrets is actually the best thing to happen to magic in years?
Rule number 1 of magic: never reveal your secret. But to be honest, I don't really care.
Son, teach me a magic trick. I got you. I'm about to teach you how you can magically make a card slowly rise out of the deck. What?
We used to live in a world where magic tricks were passed down generation from generation, but now you can learn it in seconds. You see, the algorithm rewards reveals, and magic has become a scrollable commodity. Now, it used to be the case that you could only learn magic from books, and it kind of provided a little paywall of some kind, that you had to go to the public library or you had to buy the books themselves, which, not to ramble about this too much, but buying magic books is not a cheap endeavor. But the secrets were better guarded because they weren't free anymore. You had to give something up, and nowadays, that's not the case. Now, it's easy to look at people revealing trick after trick after trick and get discouraged. But if I know anything about magicians, is that we're innovators, and we're some of the most creative people on the planet. So rather than looking at this and thinking it's a disaster, what if we can see an opportunity?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the most sense-confounding problem upon the stage today. A solid piece of wood, a solid piece of lumber that has just been cut in half, as easily as a hot knife would cut through butter. Because that blade, that 36-inch solid steel lumber saw blade, is made of the finest, sharpest tempered steel.
You see, one of the most famous routines in all of magic is called the ambitious routine. Now, what the ambitious routine is, and you're probably not familiar with the name, but you're definitely familiar with the trick, is where the magician takes a card from the top of the pack, puts it in the middle, and then it magically arrives right back at the top. Now, when I have been doing this trick in the last year or so, I have been caught almost every single time, and it hasn't really fooled anybody. Now, here's the thing. I could just be a bad magician, which is probably right. But the thing is that I believe that social media has trained people that when they hear the words up to the top, they're instinctively looking for the sleight that they know that has been revealed. And while I could be bad, like I said before, I don't think that my performance of that sleight is the problem, because when I repackage it, suddenly they're fooled. And you see, when people think that they know how something works, that's what gives us our edge, is because they have a false level of confidence, and that when that confidence is broken down and disproven, the effect and the illusion is even stronger than it was before. And by that logic, they weren't just fooled, they were double fooled, because the method that they thought that they can trust, the puffed up sense of self that they had, is shattered.
A minute. Therefore, anything or anyone placed beneath these whirling, razor-sharp teeth would certainly suffer the same results that befell this piece of wood just a moment ago. Now, it has been said that in the Himalaya mountains, they use hypnotism in order to stop the flow of blood during surgical operations. Well, during this next operation of mine, I will use hypnotism, as I am about to saw a young lady in half with that blade, and in full view of this entire audience. So may I suggest, in fact, may I insist, that the weak of heart, and especially the very young and impressionable, do not watch what is about to occur.
But let's be honest. Because of social media, we can't rely on the same tricks that we used to rely on. And magicians have to reinvent the wheel. And that there are some tricks that have been revealed so much that we have to leave them in the past to move on to the future. Because these tricks aren't fooling people anymore. As much as I love the ambitious routine, I've pretty much dropped it from my street magic performances and my just casual everyday performances. And the reason why is because it simply doesn't fool people anymore. Because you see, chances are that if it's a good illusion, and if it's a common one, someone has seen it on TikTok before. And that means that we as magicians, we have to innovate our presentation. We have to innovate the tricks that we do. And you see, the neat thing is I don't think that we have to reinvent the sleights themselves. And like I was saying before, I think we only have to repackage them.
One of my favorite tricks that exemplifies this principle is called pointer finger. And we'll go through the cards and we'll pick one out, right? And then I'll have the spectator memorize it. And then will tell me when to stop and we'll lose the card. And then I'll ask them, how many times would you like me to shuffle? And they say 1, 2 times, or however many. And for this one, we'll just do like 1. And then what I'll have them do is I'm going to have them point their pointer fingers out kind of like this. And then I'm going to go through the pack and I'm going to pick 2 cards out. And the first card is going to help me determine the color of theirs. We'll just say it is the same color for this trick. And then the second card is going to help me determine the suit. And let's just say it's a diamond, right? Then I put that card down and I have them put their pointer finger, or one of their pointer fingers, on that card. And with their other pointer finger, I have them riffle through and put their finger in to tell me when to stop. And they do wherever, right? And I'll say, hey, you just as easily could have chosen that card, but you didn't. You chose your card. And this is the part where I act all confused and say, oh, I think you know something that I don't. And they say, yeah. And I ask them, well, what card do you think is under your finger? And they say, I think it's my card. And I'm like, well, I thought your card was the 6 of diamonds. And then I flip the other card over, they freak out. But this demonstrates that principle beautifully, because it gives them the false confidence that, oh, he messed up. I know what that card is. When in actuality, they never do.
You see, this exposure trend doesn't necessarily mean that we as magicians need to be sneakier. All I think that we need to do is be smarter.
Now you'll go into a deep, deep, restful sleep. Just relax. Listen to the sound of my voice. Gradually deep into a sleep. Just relax. 3, relax. Up and backwards. 2, relax. Getting sleepier, just relax. 1, completely asleep. Relax, totally relax your body. She's ready. Our piece of wood we place into this metal holder. And then placing it underneath the lady, I want you to see what the saw blade does to it. Gentlemen, please help me lift her up. Slip this underneath her.
So then, how do we as magicians stay ahead? How do we keep this art alive? And honestly, I think the first step is looking back. You see, the interesting thing is that these people who reveal tricks, from what I've seen, is not a single one is a really, really good trick. They're not revealing mind-boggling and mind-shattering things. And honestly, they're barely scratching the surface of the tradition and the methods that have been passed down for magic. And you know, that leads me to believe that these people who make a career out of trading secrets for views, maybe they're not the best magicians. Because you see, people like Shin Lim, Penn and Teller, and some of the big names in the industry are still outperforming these guys. And they're not selling their secrets away. Now, it also could just be that people like to watch magic exposed and revealed videos more. Let's play fair. And you see, I think that now more than ever, we as magicians can lean into that classic routine of the magician's mistake, but in a little bit of a different way. Is that now that we know that people are aware of a lot of the classic routines and the simpler stuff, is that when we pull out something truly extraordinary and pull out something truly advanced, we're going to fool them so much more than we would have before.
And the wood. And the young lady.
So, magic isn't dying. And rather, I think that magic, if anything, if we want this art to survive, it just needs to evolve a little bit. Because you see, people are going to continue to post these brain rot magic reveal stuff because they get views. That's the truth at the end of the day. But you see, this gives us, as magicians who take pride in our craft, such a great opportunity to reform and to sharpen. So when we bring out a truly magnificent illusion, that it will hit so much harder than anything else that they've seen on the internet. And that is true magic.